Welcome to another time here. So I'm going to bring up my slide here and we're going to take a shot at it. What we started doing last week, we started discussing on what is your greatest fear, right? That's what we're talking about last week and we didn't finish it. We're going to finish it today, God willing, and we'll go ahead next week with the other part of chapter 1. So let me go ahead and bring this, maybe just for those who don't know about the book. It's about what it takes to live a happy life. It's about living a happy life, a happy, fulfilled life. And the conclusion Robert comes to is that it takes having a quality relationship. If you're going to have a good life, you need quality relationship to have a good life. So that's where we're heading towards, right? That's what we're going to be in and heading towards, right? That for you to have a good life, for you to have a happy life, you need to have a good relationship. You need to have a good relationship with your God or whatever it is in your life that's bigger than you. You have to go have a good relationship with yourself, and you have a good relationship with others, right? That's why we're here, right? The essence of life, or the essence of life, is to live a happy life. You're not living a happy life, you are not living the essence of your being. Don't let anyone deceive you. Happiness is not something to be forgone, right? Happiness is one that you need to design both for your today and your tomorrow. If you're not designing happiness in your life, you're not living a happy life, you're not living a fulfilled life. You're living another person's life, not your own life. But we'll talk more. Let's go ahead and bring up the slides here and we'll discuss. Go. That's what the question we're answering. We started last week, the second part on the question. What is your greatest fear? What is your greatest fear? Because your greatest fear is that which will hold you back from living a fulfilled life, from living a happy life, right? If you don't overcome your fear will overcome you, right? There's no middle ground. If you don't overcome your fear will overcome you, and it become a stumbling block in your path to having a fulfilled life, in your path to having a life of purpose, right? Because a life of purpose is a life of fulfillment. It's a happy life. The purpose of life is to be happy. The purpose of life is to be fulfilled. The purpose of life is to live the essence of your creation. The purpose of life is to live the highest, expression, of all God has created you to be, right? So fear is your enemy on this in this quest. Love and faith are your friends in this quest, right? Let's go on. So last week we talked about the first 8 of the 10 fears we're trying to look at here. One of those we spoke about is the fear of failure. The fear of failure. This is the biggest fear as far people not succeeding in life. Like I shared last week, Jim Rohn would say that people don't succeed in life because they don't even show up. It's not as if they come and try and they fail. A good percentage, probably 80% of people that fail because they don't even show up. They give every excuse not to show up. They give every excuse not to try. Oh, Nigeria is bad. I'm not applying because it is rigged. If I apply, they will not call me. Oh, they already know who they want to call. What's the use of applying? They give all the excuses you can ever think of. And that's why their lot is not better. Their lot is not better. When I got employed where I'm employed, they needed 4 people, right? 4 people. Later on, they added 2, but they needed 4 people. Out of the thousands that came for the interview, I was one of the 4. And I did not know anybody there, to say, if there was a place I was supposed to have been employed, it was another company where my father retired from, but not this one, where I really didn't know anybody, right? I could have as well given the excuse. Oh, I don't know anybody. Oh, they will not take me. 1,000. Oh, look, 1,000 people going for interview. How would they select me? Oh, they already know the people they want to take. And I will not be. I've worked where I've worked now 27 years. This is my 27th year on the job. At that same time, I was attending several interviews in another company. and I always get into the final stage, but not getting taken. I could have given up. Thank God I did not. Thank God. But the same is true of you. You don't have to give up. If you know what you want, go for it and continue going for it until you get it. Don't let any excuse take you away from it. Don't let any excuse take you away from showing up. Showing up is your part. Getting it is God's. Show up, do your part. So we also spoke about the fear of success. That's a strange one. Fear of failure is easily understandable, but fear of success also exists because someone is fearing, if I succeed, will I like who I become? If I succeed, what if I lose it? If I succeed, will my friends still like me? Will my neighborhood still like me? So they are so taken away by the opportunity cost of succeeding that they fear succeeding. And their lot is no better. They are living their lives for other people rather than for themselves. Let that not be your lot. Right? There's also the fear of loss. And I gave an example, of one of my burros, who could not take the loss of her sister. And she mourned so much, she became paralyzed. Right? All her life stopped and went backwards. Loss is an inevitable part of life. Whether it be loss of a person, whether it be loss of things, is an inevitable part of life. Therefore, it should not win over you. It should not destabilize your life. If you lose something, it is expected. It is part of life. So you need to prepare your mind for that inevitability. Your parents will die one day if they have not died yet. Your siblings will die one day if they have not died yet. People you love will die one day if they have not died yet. People you don't love will die one day if they have not died yet. It's an inevitability of life. Therefore, it should not defeat you. You should prepare your mind for that which is inevitable and live over it, rise over it. Don't stay on that, rise over it. Otherwise, you're not going to have a good life. Right? I have one of my goddaughter who is struggling through that in life. She's scared of what will happen to her if she loses what she's holding so precious. But it's getting her into depression. Right? Depression is as good as a spell of death. But so she's at that place where she needs to make a decision. But only she can make that decision, because she then needs to be ready for what it takes to make that decision. But whatsoever decision she makes, so long as she's the one making it, she'll do well. But indecision is a decision on its own. And indecision will not bless you. Right? Let's move on. All right. We also talked about the fear of being judged, right? And this naturally affects those who are already shy, or in a sense affects introverts more than it will affect extroverts. Why? Because introverts are deep thinkers and they tend to second guess themselves. So it's easy on them. However, it is not a spell of death. You can rise above it. You can rise above it. You can rise above it. You just need to know what to focus on, right? If you focus on the positive, not the negative, because whatsoever you focus on will become big, magnifies in your eye. Whatever it is that you focus on will magnify, right? A small thing you focus on, it can become a giant monster that will stop you in your path of progress. People will always judge. You can do nothing about that. So that should not be your focus. It should not take your attention. Yeah, you're not here to impress people. You are here to express the fullness, the fullness expression of all God has made you to be. It's not about what people have to say. It's about what you have to express, what you have to do. Align the light that's on the inside of you to shine. It's about you coming on the stage and owning the stage, owning whatever it is that you do, and just doing it, irrespective of what people have to say. You know, my pastor at Houston, Joel Austin, says there are always going to be three types of people: people that love you, people that don't love you, and people who could not be bothered about what you do or not do. Those three people will always exist, right? Express yourself to the people that love you, right? The other two will always exist. Sometimes those that don't care, some of them will be one to one of the two sides, but you can't control that. All you can control is yourself. You are not here to please anybody. You're not here to impress anybody. You're here to be. You're here to be. That's why we're human beings, not human impressions. Human beings. Be human. Hone your life. Hone whatever it is that you do. Be good at it and go do your thing, right? A fear of losing our identity, you know, is another fear that people get into. And typically that comes from it comes from a crisis period, right? When something might have happened to one, you know. So I just want to be sure. Yeah. So it comes when you're not able to, typically it's a crisis. It also comes when you're not able to have a right linkage to who you used to be, who you are, and who you want to be, who you're growing to be. And like I said, you know, it plagues a lot of Black Americans because they have issues tracing their ancestry, right? Easy to say the ancestry is Africa, but Africa is a continent, not a nation. So which nation, which tribe, which dialect in Africa? You know, that for some people might create an identity crisis of its own. There was a time in my life, having gone through a rough period of time, you know, I needed that. I was like losing my identity also. You know, I had to one time go to the place where I lived most of my preteen years, you know, just to get that reality back into my head. You know, sometimes that's why people bleed, cut themselves, you know, they want to feel pain, you know, because there are times when you just been through a whole lot of overthinking things that you lose the sense of who you are. You've been through pain that, you know, you lose the sense of who you are. And sometimes you need to get back to your roots, you know, get back to something you can hold, you know, and from there begin to build your wings to fly, to soar, to rise in life, you know. And sometimes it helps to be able to tie to something that tells you where you're coming from. You didn't just drop into this place, right? And for me, it was yeah, I went around the neighborhood I'd grown up, you know, kind of brought some fresh memory into my head. Today I'm connected with a lot of things from my past, you know, connected with people from my elementary school, connected to people from my secondary school, connected to people from my university days, you know, and that helps me. It gives me root. And from there, I can fly, right? I can face the enemy at the gate, you know, knowing that I did not just drop here, you know, but I live, I grew, I evolved. There's foundation where I'm coming from. I have a foundation, a strong foundation, you know, that gives me rooting and gives me a place where I can develop my wings to fly, to soar in life, you know. So that can help you, you know. But if you don't have any of that, just get comfortable, confident in who you are today, right? Not being able to tire of that should not make you a prisoner. Whatever it is that you are today, build from there. Be comfortable in yourself, be comfortable under your own skin, you know. And that's important if you want to live a good life. We also spoke about the fear of who you truly are, right? And This is one of the social anxiety fears. It could also be tied to what we call the imposter syndrome. You've grown and you're being given responsibility, and you begin to doubt if you are qualified to do it. Begin to doubt that how you got to where you got to. Again, you need to rise above all of that. Get out of that place that is trying to suffocate you, right? And go breathe fresh air. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. And be comfortable under your own skin, right? Don't let pressure, don't let demonic spirit, don't let witches, make you or suffocate you. You are who you are, and you deserve what you have, right? You are qualified. You are qualified. You're no imposter. You are qualified. Right? Whatever it is that you've been given to you, whatever task position you have, you are qualified. You have what it takes. You are enough. You are enough. You are capable, of doing it. All right, was this the last fear? No, it wasn't. No, it was the last fear we looked at last week. We looked at the fear of losing control, and this is one where, when people micromanage, micromanaging is not a skill. Micromanaging is not positive. Micromanaging is because the person lacks control in him or herself. Only people who lack control in him or themselves, or who don't trust themselves, micromanage. Micromanage is not positive. It's not of God either, right? So if you see someone micromanaging, that person is like good manager, right? A good manager does not micromanage. One who is in control of his or their life do not micromanage. Those who micromanage are carrying their lack of control, their lack of congruency in their own life, and rubbing it on others, right? So life is not meant to be controlled 100%. We're all humans. There's only so much we can control. Yes, it's good to control some, but seeking to control everything, it's saying to the universe, saying to nature that you don't need them. You don't need God, that you are the God over your life, that without you, things don't move in your life. So not trusting God, not trusting in grace is that place where you seek control of every little thing, right? That no matter what you control, there will always be things you can't control. There'll be things outside your control. There'll be things you can control that can't even get to by reason of space, time, So life is about doing your best and leaving the rest to God. Doing your best and trusting others to do their own, right? Trust others to do their own while you do your own. Trust that everything will work together. Trust God, trust the hand of nature, trust the hand of destiny, that things will come together. Not just because you did it, but just that you did your own part. And as everyone does their own part, things will fall together, right?